That's probably going to be the thumbnail they pick for me. Oh, narcissism, arrogance, self-centeredness, aggression, and hostility. Look at all these things that people throw around when they see somebody that they think is better than them. Notice I said that they think. That's their own failing, which allows them to believe that somebody else might be better than them. There's gotta be something they can do that's better than what that other fucking asshole's doing that they think is better than them, you know? You think he's gonna sit around fucking doing crochet? Pick up the crochet. You don't have to feel like anybody's fucking better than you. I'm not doing crochet. That's one more thing I'll never be good at. See? It's getting hot in here. So take off all your gloves. All I want is to make wear. All I want is to wear gloves and shoes. Dun 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 dun. It's funny. It's got to be up to 16 degrees now, so. Well, I don't even know what the fuck I'm wearing. Here's the deal. You know, you can say narcissism and self-centered and fucking arrogant all you want. I've tried to explain this to people before. They just don't get it. Is it a mind-blowing experience? I don't think so. It's just fucking normal. I talk about things that happened to me, and it's so fun, and it's just a lovable life that I've lived. I don't even think of it that way, except I have to fucking see it that way, because I look at these things and I'm like, that could be going too fucking far. People are gonna think, no. I don't take any credit for any of the good things that happen to me and the good people I meet and everybody else. I find it humorous that such fun things fucking happen to me. And it's always been that way. It's always been that way. And in the process, I meet all these people all over the place. And I say, it's you know, I was once, my reputation preceded me. Guy said, oh, cocky motherfucker. I'm like, and I tried to argue it right then, you know. Cocky is the darker side of confident. I'm just confident, and shit happens, it works. And I go, ha 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 ha, and I love to tell it. You know, walking through a fucking alley, the dark woods in West Sacramento, when they say, if you want to go to the bar, go there, but don't walk through the park at night. And you fucking draw some people in behind you, and you got your fucking knife out, and you're sitting there waiting, and finally you look back, and there's nobody there anymore after they tried to sell you a dirty fucking Mickey Mouse shirt. Hey, you want a Disneyland? Hey. Catching me as I'm walking through the woods where they said, don't walk. I said, this is gonna be fun. and these guys are across the road, and they're like, hey, hey, hey. And I stopped, and I turned around and went back to them. They're like, you want to buy a Disneyland t-shirt? And I said, no, I never been there. And you've got these guys holding up this dirty, filthy, probably something they took off one of their victims' Disneyland t-shirts. That's a white sweatshirt. It's a white sweatshirt. And it's just covered in filth, like I'd been rolling around in a nurse's dress. I said, no, I ain't never been there. And I turned around, and I've got good peripheral vision according to the Army. I can see shit out of the side of my fucking eye, just the way I can look at you out of the side of my face. And I see them look at each other in the eye and turn and follow me into the park where there are no lights whatsoever. You're walking into the wilderness with fucking 2 grizzlies behind you, and you pull out the fucking knife. And because you're walking with a purpose, take a look, not there anymore. They made it just inside and turned and said, no, we're not going in there. They didn't even know I had my fucking knife out. This was gonna be fun. I think that's a Martin Halligan story, Avocation. I'll connect it. It's a reading, it's a Judas reading. Fucking walk through there. And so, I talk like this, like it's something you may perceive it to be confident about something, but it's not. It's just so funny how easy it all is, and everybody makes it look so fucking hard. And you think, I've run into so many people throughout my life. I've run into a guy from an Indiana trailer in Puerto Rico once. He's like, hey, I have no idea who you are. And he's like, you're in my trailer. I joined the Army after I met you. I'm like, with Scomp. You know, it was like, and I've run into a cousin in Alaska. I can't even get into all this because I run into people. I fucking went the same way that Jesus had the lost years, and they follow these little things and they say he was in Tibet. I was gone for a good while, and I was walking in Tibet. This is shit I'm not even trying to do. Okay, here it is. The Judas resurrection. I started with Judas at the dawn of betrayal at 90.5 FM KSJS San Jose. 90.5 FM KSJS San Jose. And before that was when we were pulling out in a meeting, one of these monthly educational things, and they're calling everybody's name, and everybody's saying, gone fishing, out to lunch, ha 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 ha, when they call their name. And I'm sitting there, and the guy says, Elderquist, J. Archer. And I said, Judas was the true Messiah. I shouted it out. I sat watching these people. I said, let's give them something to fucking talk about. You know, all these old jokes. Now that my dad's dead, we have to start making up our own new old jokes for when we're old enough to die. People can remember us by. And so there was the Judas. Everybody started calling me Judas after that. And I'm like, and then you go before that, and it was sitting in the church with my dad in the back pew, like we always were. After I'd been told I couldn't be an altar boy anymore, I was exiled from the Catholic Church because I'm a child of sin. Never did once get raped. That might be why they decided, it was a bipartisan thing they're working on. They're like, I never fucked him. You ever fuck him? I never fucked him. I never even touched him. There was never anything. They're like, fuck it, he's out. And I'm sitting in church with my dad and thinking about Jesus right after they'd exiled me. And I was like about 11 years old, maybe 12. I turned 12 that year, I think. I said, well, if I'm not the chosen one, he's gonna need a friend. And I thought of Judas, because Judas, they taught us, and I've learned more and more about it. Judas was a good friend to Jesus, and Jesus never gave him everything he wanted. Judas wanted to fight. So I thought it's time to, when it came time to be on the radio, and they said, you gotta make up a name. You don't want people following you around. Yeah. And I said, I guess I'm Judas. Had been following me for all these years. And I've seen Brad Stoner, who came up out of nowhere early on. I said, when this thing starts, let's see how it's gonna go. I said, I would love to just hear from somebody I have no contact with. And Brad Stoner, in one of my first probably 30 videos a couple of years ago, in the fucking, down in the bottom of the well, he commented, he says, Archie, is that you? And I was like, you can't say my name, because I was still being secretive. It was in the evolution of somewhere between the dawn of betrayal. It's not the dawn of the betrayal. It's the dawn of betrayal. This is what I said long ago when Nick Martinez screwed up the show name on the wall. I said, it's not. And I said, it's the dawn of betrayal. This is when we all turn on ourselves. This is where it starts. And he says, oh, you actually put some thought into this. Tails, you die. It landed on the director's chair. That's why you didn't hear it at the ground, because it landed on Judas. Judas will fuck with your mind a little bit, but if you pay attention, everything's gonna be okay. Everything. That's 2 trees for one hanging. So it all goes back to the Judas thing. And throughout the years, I've run into people. I ran Brad Stoner says, hey. And then just recently, Steve Sager had made contact with me, and I think I freaked him out somehow. So we haven't talked. But he was, Steve Sager at 90.5 FM KSGS San Jose. He was with Ken Kibbe. Got in touch with me. So there are people that are making contact, and we think about the people we make contact with. If you don't move very far, you've only got, I found an obituary for one of my dad's friends that's got his same name today, just because my dad traveled enough and called people on the phone when he was going through a town. If he saw somebody with an Elderquist last name, he'd call him Aloysius. And he saw an Aloysius Elderquist in like Foley, Minnesota, as they were driving by, and they became lifelong friends. and I found his obituary right after my dad's. They have the same name. They're both Aloysius Elderquists. And I ran into a guy in Kalamazoo when I was working there. He looked at my name. He said, Elderquist. He said, we got a lot of those back home. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? They aren't anywhere. And he says, yeah, grew up best friends with. And I said, my dad is Aloysius. He said, this guy's name was Aloysius. He knew the fucking guy. This guy, David Boy-like, he knew the guy that my dad called randomly driving through a town and became lifelong friends with and lived long. And he's dead. So I was able to share it with my dad. And now their obituaries are on the same page. Isn't that something? Right after each other. Good friends. If you get my dad on the phone and you answer when he calls, and you can take the 2 to 3 hour phone call, you still answer when he calls, you're a good friend. And he was a good friend. So the thing is, I make connections. I run into people in different parts of the world, in strange places, all this stuff. And here's what I wanted to ask of you. See, years ago I thought about running for president just as a joke, which I guess I'm behind the curve. But just for the people that would vote for me as a joke. They say, this guy, yeah, I know that guy. That's that guy. That's that guy. And just to see if I could accidentally win because of all the people I've been in contact with. I mean, I got the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. I've got a couple to Long Dong Silver. I want you somebodies to do a video of yourself and just share it on a commentary. You block out your names, whatever, I'll recognize every one of you. But those of you that have had personal contact with me, see, this could be a worldwide thing, or it could be a just failure whatsoever. But it's not a failure to me, because I really just want to know how many people we are making contact with, because it's not going to be too much longer. Probably won't be able to do it anymore.